I know we mentioned before, you often say that successful transformations sit at sort of the intersection of
Mhm.
strategy, technology, and behavior, as we've been talking about. How can leaders make sure all three work in sync instead of in sort of single silos, and
Yeah,
we can, combine that strategy, technology, and behavior?
yeah. So maybe to break it down, so strategy is for me the why of the change, right? So why we're doing this, what do we want to achieve this is. Technology, I would then say, is a bit the how we're gonna implement this and make it happen. But then the connecting glue, the behaviors is really defining what works. And to your point of connecting the three, I would say that most organizations are actually pretty good at connecting strategy and technology. So they know where they want to go, and so therefore they select the platform to go there. But I think they often skip the behavior part and the translation from what it means in behavioral terms. And I think to your very first question around like adoption versus value creation, we work a lot with what we call like translation maps, because in the end, you want to connect the value we want to get out of such a transformation with the outcome that this transformation needs to be delivered, and then the knowledge and the behaviors that enable these outcomes. So it's almost like starting, if you want to connect the three, it's almost like you have to start with the end in mind and say, okay, what are the outcomes we want to see? But then also, what are the behaviors that will get us there? And then when you think about change and training and communication, you actually don't make this mistake of just doing it for the sake of it, right? So just driving change activities and training and communication activities just because you do it. But you actually start from the behavior side and the knowledge you need to create for the outcomes, for the value. And then that helps you to really be very selective about where do you need to engage people, where do you have to build knowledge and skills through training, where do you have to explain better the why and the how through communication. And with that, I think with this end in mind idea, you can then really build a really strong adoption, change, training, communication plan to drive outcomes and to drive values. And again, like I think a lot of the simulation and process walkthrough help people to experience the desired and the required knowledge and behavior already during testing, during the training. And when you then, in addition to that, also track like competence or confidence of people, then you can also always see like, are people really ready? Or where do you have to like fine tune or intervene with your intervention to really get there? But that's for me the alignment between strategy, technology, and behavior or people.
So, I mean, would your advice be to any business? The majority of the market go with that strategy and technology approach first, but your advice would be to turn it the other way around, look at the behavior before we start going into anything strategy or technology related.
Yeah, I'll start with the outcome, the value, right? And then from a people perspective, what are the behaviors? And I mean, the same you do, of course, you start from the value, from the outcome, and then you say like, what is the technology? What are the features, the function I need to drive the outcome? You look at it from a processes perspective. I just made the example of looking at it through the people perspective and the behaviors, but it's really this backwards reverse engineering that we really recommend to our clients, so that they are very focused in what they really need, technology, process, people, to drive value.